Joining me now is a co-chair for the Harris-Walz campaign and Delaware Democratic Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester. She is also running for Senate. Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for joining us.
Thank you for having me on this exciting night.
Well, and Pink is getting things started, so we'll have to have our conversation over the sounds of Pink emanating through the air. But let's just start right there where I left off with Yamiche. What are you expecting to hear from Vice President Harris tonight? What does she need to do to make this night be successful?
Well, first of all, I have to just say how proud I am. I was really fortunate, and I want to pick up as well to talk about Joe Biden and how I remember when he had to make that very first decision about who was going to be his vice presidential pick, and he asked me to be one of the 4 people on the VP selection committee. And so I came into Congress with Kamala Harris in 2016. She came into the Senate and I in the House, and we've had that relationship. But then to see her become our vice president because of her qualifications. And so I think that will be one of the major things that has been talked about this week, but also that she will share. I think you will also hear about her vision for the future of this country. And I love the opportunity agenda, the opportunity economy, because for her, it's not just about people, getting by, it's about getting ahead. And so I think tonight you're going to hear about that. You're also going to hear joy. I mean, I think that has been a signature of this whole convention. My speech was about Bright Hope, the church my grandmother attended for 70 years. And lastly, freedom. And like Tim Walz, who I had the opportunity to serve with, got the best title of my life last year, which is grandmother, and it is because of IVF. So we're going to fight for reproductive freedom as well as our democracy.
Well, congratulations on becoming a grandmother.
Thank you. The best thing ever.
My parents would agree with you, by the way. It's interesting because Hillary Clinton leaned heavily, you could say, into the fact that she was a history-making candidate. We saw that in 2016. She referenced that when she spoke here at the start of this week. But Vice President Harris so far has taken a very different tact. As Yamiche said, she may reference the fact and she will acknowledge the fact that, yes, she is the first, but as her mother said to her, you don't want to be the last.
Yes.
Do you think she should lean more heavily into the fact that she's a history-making nominee?
I think that there's debate about that, but there really shouldn't be. She is all of it, But the most important thing, and I know this, having been the first in Delaware to be elected to Congress and hopefully the Senate, that your real goal is to make an impact. That's the goal. The thing about being the first is that it helps to inspire others. For me, when I ran, I had never run for anything in my life. I had just been widowed. I was over 50. And so the first sometimes helps encourage other people and inspire other people and kick down the door. But why she's doing this is for the American people, because she truly wants to see all boats lifted. I love this song.
Well, it's playing at the right time then. Well, on that point,
yes.
I mean, the Trump campaign has been counter-programming this entire week. Donald Trump at the border today. And he's, of course, been criticizing the Biden administration for its immigration policies, for inflation, for crime. Do you think she should get specific on some of these issues to answer what have become some of voters' concerns?
Yeah, I mean, I think throughout the whole convention, there have been examples and videos and stories about her actual experience and expertise, but also her vision. And so I think you saw that Donald Trump actually killed the deal. That was a bipartisan deal on immigration, which is important to us. And so I think you'll hear some of that tonight. I think you'll hear some of the specifics that she has accomplished, but also what's the vision.
She does, and she's talked about that bipartisan deal that you referenced and saying if she were to be elected, she would try to sign it into law. But does she need to get specific about what more she might do on the issue of immigration?
I think you will hear more tonight.
Okay.
I'm not going to preempt anything. That's not my job to do that. that. But what I can say is she has the vision. She's got the specifics. There are things that we've already done in a bipartisan way and sometimes on our own. But what she has tonight, you're going to see full on that stage that's going to be leading us to the future instead of going backwards.
Will there be differences with the Biden agenda, or will it look like she's building on the Biden agenda?
I mean, I think there are some things that we started together, which is capping the cost of insulin for seniors. Well, we believe that $35 cap should be for everyone. You will see a focus on affordable housing, which we hear is one of the big issues for Americans, and also lowering the day-to-day costs for everyone. And again, back to that focus on freedom and the future. I think those are the themes: freedom, the future, and joy. We need a little bit more joy again.
For all of the unity that has been on display inside this convention hall, there obviously have been some protesters, and we just learned that the DNC rejected a bid by a Palestinian American to speak on stage. The UAW, of course, a key part of the Democratic coalition, issued a statement that reads in part, "If we want the war in Gaza to end, we can't put our heads in the sand or ignore the voices of the Palestinian Americans in the Democratic Party. If we want peace, if we want real democracy, and if we want to win this election, the Democratic Party must allow a Palestinian American speaker to be heard from the DNC stage tonight." What is your response to that?
You know, my response is that as a country, you know, freedom of expression is so important. And as you can see from the diversity of the people in this room, we come from different backgrounds, different opinions, and so we celebrate that. But we also, as Democrats, President Biden and his administration, Vice President Harris, have worked tirelessly to bring peace to that region. So one of the things that I would say is that we are all unified in our desire to have an end to this conflict, to have peace in the Middle East. And so tonight, I don't know if that will be referenced by the Vice President because I haven't seen her speech, but I do know we have that bond in common.
All right, Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it.
And I hope maybe we'll hear a preview of Beyonce. I don't know. That would be lovely.
We're trying to report it out. There have been all of these
There's a lot of rumors
that there could be a surprise.
There's a lot of
rumors. So far, everyone's saying no more surprises.
Well, I'm a member of the Beehive, so if they need me up there, I'm happy to help. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Congresswoman. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.